on, guys? This is David. Welcome back to the channel. As always, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, help the channel grow. As always, if you get a chance, go back and check out some of my previous videos just to see, check out some of the topics we discussed. I always think that we provided some helpful information for someone, so check it out when you get a chance. Also, I always leave a link to a trading class or some trading information in the description. Check it out when you guys get a chance. Also, link to my podcast. If you're not able to follow along on YouTube, I drop a link for those as well. So check those out. So today I want to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, right? If you follow the channel, I love to invest. I talk about investing the majority of the time. I hope you guys are investing right now. Real good opportunities in the market, the stock market, crypto, whatever is your preference. But I want to give you a little insight. I wasn't able to invest until I got my debt under control, right? So this was a key part for me, getting my debt under control. And a lot of people struggle to master this part in their finances, right? And this is a very key part in investing, right? You can't invest if you don't have your finances under control, right? A key to getting your finances under control is to eliminate bad debt. And I found this out firsthand, and I probably spent the last 2+ years, going on 3 years, getting this under control to, I finally got to the point where I can invest like I want to invest because I got my debt under control. So I'm going to give you guys 4 tips that worked for me, right, regarding, how I got my debt under control, right? So hopefully this helps someone out. I'm not telling you this is what you need to do, but I'm telling you what worked for me, right? So the first step was creating a budget. I know you probably heard this a million times, but very few people take it serious, right? And once I took this serious, things started to change. So I created a budget. I wrote down my income, wrote down my expenses so I could see where my money is going. I needed to see what every dollar was going. Every dollar is a tip I got from Dave Ramsey, but it's true, right? You need to know where your money is going. So you have your list of expenses, you have your list of debt, your list of income, list of expenses, and you can see firsthand where your money is going. Now you can kind of maneuver, create a plan of how you need to eliminate some of this debt. You got to create a budget and get your spending under control, right? The wealthy, they create a gap between their income and their expenses. Once they create a large enough gap, then you might see some lavish spending. A lot of people's problem, we like to do a lot of lavish spending before we created that gap between our income and our expenses. So you got to create a budget, get your spending under control, know where your money is going, right? So that was the first step for me. The second step, a lot of people sleep on this, right? This is a sleeper, right? But I downloaded Credit Karma. Now people say, oh, why you use Credit Karma? The score's not accurate, blase. Got to think outside the box, right? I think Credit Karma is one of the best inventions or apps that has ever been created, right? Credit Karma gives you a visual, right, of what your debt, usually your consumer debt that you have. Previously, you used to have to, get your free credit report once a year, whatever, or you had to pay for it. No, Credit Karma, you want to make sure everything is accurate, but you have a visual of what you need to take care of, right? A lot of people talk about their credit score, but they don't take any real steps to increase their credit score? Well, you got to see what's on your credit report to take care of, some of those issues to increase your score. So I downloaded Credit Karma. I have a visual, right, that updates usually every week, but I have something I can look at every day to see what I need to take care of. Right? So once I created a budget, I downloaded Credit Karma. Now I have a plan in place. Right? So that leads me to step number 3. Now that I see what my consumer debt is from Credit Karma, now I can create a plan to eliminate that, right? So what I did, I got my debt from, I looked at my debt from the smallest to the largest. And you see a lot of people say, well, I want to get the highest interest rate. And that's fine, whatever works for you. But for me, once again, another Dave Ramsey tip, I took my debt from the smallest to the largest and started eliminating my debt one by one, right? One by one. So if I had, my smallest debt was $200, right? I'm going to put everything towards that $200. I'm going to put minimum payments towards everything else over that $200, right? So now I'm putting all my resources to eliminate that $200 debt, paying minimum payments on everything else. Once I rid of that $200, okay, well, now I have a $500 debt, right? Now I'm going to take what I was putting towards that $200, put it towards that $500 plus that minimum I was putting on that $500. So now I'm putting all my resources towards that $500 debt, right? Paying the minimum, everything above that, until that it gets eliminated. And I did that for about a year and a half, and I just saw all this debt going away. And that was the biggest raise that I got, was eliminating bad debt. Now I have extra money, that I didn't have before. Right? It took a lot of sacrifices, a lot of things, a lot of weekend sacrifices. But that's where the budget came into place. So I know where my money's going. So, like I said, it's not an overnight process, but I took my smallest debt, eliminated it, went to the next debt, and you create that debt snowball, right? And from there, you see your credit score starting to go up. This is how you kind of killing two birds with one stone, right? You want to see your credit score up, but you got this bad debt. Well, now you're starting to knock it out. As you knock out this debt, your credit score starts to reflect that. Your credit is how well you pay your debt. So I probably did this for like a year and a half, right? I got a lot of consumer debt out the way, a lot of credit cards, small credit cards, that I had no business having any balances on in the first place, or that I just simply mismanaged. I started eliminating, but I got serious about it. Right? I attacked it. I attacked it full speed ahead and got that debt out the way. Right? So now I'm seeing my credit, my scores, 700 going up, just steadily increasing. Why? Because my debt to income is starting to get better, and it shows. It shows. Your credit score is going to reflect that. So if you're looking and you're wondering why your credit score hasn't changed, from month to month, or when people's pulling your credit when you're trying to get something, what have you done in that time frame for your credit score to increase? Right? What resources are you using to increase your credit score? For me, it was Credit Karma. That was one of the smartest decisions I made, was to download Credit Karma and start using it for my benefit. Right? So that score updates every week. Your true credit score, probably updates every month. Right? So it's going to be variances in the score. Let's not get it twisted. But if you're using what's on Credit Karma to take care of that bad debt, you have a plan, that's what's most important. That's what's important, right? So I created my budget, right? I downloaded Credit Karma. Now I see what's on my credit. Now I got to attack it. I start with the smallest debt, and then I go start eliminating, putting all my resources toward the smallest debt, paying minimums on top of that. And, I'm making leeway now. I'm making leeway. Debt is being eliminated, score is going up, right? And this leads me to step number 4, which was very important. lot of people sleep on this step. It takes some research, right? So my score is going up. My score is up. My debt to income is a lot better now because of the previous step that I'm still doing. This takes a little research, right? So you have to learn how to use the banks to your benefit, right? We always go into the bank. We deposit our money to the bank. We get loans from the bank. But how do we really use the banks to our benefit, right? So, and what I learned just from research online, I started looking into lines of credit, right? I couldn't get a line of credit when I first started this debt journey, right? My score wasn't the best. My debt to income wasn't good at all. Who's going to give me a line of credit, a personal line of credit, right? I'm not personally talking about a home equity line of credit. If you want to use that, that's fine. But I'm just talking about an unsecured personal line of credit. All banks don't offer this, so you got to do some research. I'm here in Georgia, so Fifth Third Bank is the bank that I use, right? I went to Fifth Third and I said, hey, do you think I could possibly get a line of credit, a personal line of credit? They looked at my debt to income, which still needed work, and my credit score, income, of course, and I got approved. I got approved for a certain dollar amount. As far as what was left on my with my debt, I still had like some of my highest credit cards, and I still had a car loan, right? Let's just say $7,000-8,000, right? Just an estimate. I got this line of credit for above that amount. So what I did was I got the line of credit, personal line of credit, unsecured personal line of credit, very important. And I used that to pay off my car loan, and I used it to pay off my high interest credit card, right? Well, David, you just transferring debt. You're not really paying anything off. Well, keep this in mind, right? On your credit report, a personal line of credit shows as a loan, right? A loan doesn't affect your credit the same way as credit card debt or car notes or car loan, right? Very important. So let's just say $8,000 that I had in credit cards and car loans now shows in my credit report as zero, no debt. So my credit card debt is completely gone. My car loan is completely gone. I have this $8,000 balance on my personal line of credit. Well, check this out. On my personal line of credit, I have 15 years to pay it off. But more important than that, the interest rate is crazy. This is the difference, right? This is the difference. So with the car note, let's just say remaining balance was $4,000. We'll say the credit card remaining balance was $4,000, right? My car note minimum payment, I was paying $340 a month. Minimum payment on my credit card was $200 plus a month. That's $500-600 going towards card note and credit card debt, right? Well, now that's paid off. I use a personal line of credit to pay that off, right? So that same balance on my personal line of credit, minimum payment is $100, $150, just to say at the max, right? So that same money I'm taking to pay off this credit card and car loan, I'm now using it to pay off this line of credit even quicker, right? Because now that $400, $500, $600 that I was using on that, I'm paying down this line of credit in 5 to 6 months, where I probably had another 2 years on this other debt. Keep that in mind, right? So I did that, not completely knocked everything out. Paid off the line of credit in 5 or 6 months. Now I'm left with no balance, right? And I still have my line of credit, which is money that I can use anytime that I like. Very important. So I'm not going to hold you guys up. I wanted to give you those tips. The video got cut off, but I wanted to pick back up. Let me know what you think. Just to recap on these 4 tips to eliminate your debt, right? One is creating a budget. We talked about creating a budget. Two, Credit Karma is very important. It gives you that visual, right, that you need to see with your credit and your debt. You know what I mean? It gives you that visual. Don't sleep on Credit Karma because you don't think that the scores match up, this, that, and the third. That's not why you should be using it. If you take care of your debt, the score is going to take care of itself. Keep that in mind. Also, starting with your smallest debt, working that debt snowball to eliminate your debt, your total debt, and then look for alternative sources. Right, learn how to use the banks to help you. Right, learn how to use these banks. For me, it was getting a personal line of credit. Right, that helped me take care of some of that high debt that I had. Right, a lot of people don't talk about that as much. That's not as as thrown out there as what people use banks for, but it's very important, right? Very important that you guys understand how to use the banks to help you out. Now I paid off my high debt with that line of credit. Now I have that line of credit to use for other things that I may want to use: real estate, investing, whatever the case may be. That's going to be something that's going to take me to the next level. And now I can go back to the bank and actually ask for an increase, right? Because since I paid off all that other stuff, my debt to income is better. My credit score is higher. My income has increased over that time frame. Now the banks want to work with me, right? And then I'm going to use their money to become my own bank. Think about that. So just some tips for you guys. Leave me some feedback. Remember to do your own research. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell to help the channel grow. Follow my podcast if you guys not able to catch the YouTube videos, and I will talk to you guys later.